When I was 12 years old, I purchased 8-minute abs from an ad I saw on TV. My dream was to get abs. I also had a dream of wanting to play in the NBA. 30 plus years later, neither of those dreams have come true. But I learned something valuable from 8-minute abs. Every day I would do this program, and I noticed my core was getting stronger. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. It was consistent effort, consistent improvement in developing my actual physical core. What does this mean when it comes to dentisting? What is our dental core? Our mind skills, business and leadership, our patient communication and team communication skills, words, our clinical skills. At the center of it, our heart. Too often, we are lost after dental school because that does not give us the core development skills we need to succeed. But in the real world of dentisting, we can work each day to get a little bit better, improve our speed and efficiency, learn to use words and phrases that create impact and help people move forward. From the great book To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. If you happen to be listening to this and hear just this 10 seconds, please buy To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Listen to it, read it. I've done it more than once. It helps you understand that we should be proud to sell help. Dental school makes us feel so weird about money, but they charge hundreds of thousands of dollars to go there. So I'm not so sure why they don't teach us more about money, but they just don't. But in the real world of dentisting, I am proud to sell help. Whether it's protecting someone's teeth with a night guard or replacing all of their teeth with dental implants, it's the awesome part of dentisting. But there's also annoying parts, sometimes awful parts. Your team fighting, dealing with insurance, that little ring thing for the class two flying off the tooth and pinging around on the floor. So I encourage you to work on developing your dentisting core, whether you've been out of school for 1 day, 4 years, or 43 years. Just like our real core, we can always make it better. One of the things that I like to share is I love to share talking tips. So if you'd like to text talk to 215-543-6454, you get a link to all of my totally free Talking Nachos podcasts, which will help you with core development skills, patient communication, and dental life decision making. If I can help you in any way, do not hesitate to reach out to me at dentalnachos.com.
Wow. Good morning. Good morning. Excuse me. Good evening, everybody. And thanks, Paul. That video was great. I got to tell you, I'm really happy to have you here. For everybody who doesn't know already, many of you are probably already members of the Dental Nachos Facebook group or have visited the website. It's a group on Facebook that has over 30,000 dentists as members. You know, it's a great place to share information and camaraderie and all kinds of good stuff. I'm really glad Paul has decided to join us this evening. I have to tell you, Paul, I never really thought of, I've done a lot of Pilates and a lot of yoga, and I hear about the core all the time. I never really thought of it before as something that applied to dentistry, but I'm really interested in seeing what you have to say about it tonight. Where'd you get this idea from?
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Bridget. It really was from my 8-minute abs time as a child. And, you know, but in to use the exercise from back then, oftentimes doing bench press and bicep curls was the thing to do in the 80s. And as we've grown, we know that being your core activities, Todd Fleischman and you both love Pilates. So perfect example, we've evolved. So maybe, you know, when people ask me what Dental Nachos does, I says it just helps dentists do less of this, more of this, less of crying inside, less of feeling like they can't do it, and building this core, because I believe it's your mind skills, your word skills, your hand skills at the center of it, your heart. And we should talk more about what it means to be a well-rounded dentist.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really glad that I stumbled upon Dental Nachos a couple of years ago, and I'm glad we've become friends, and I've seen a lot of your work before, and I'm really happy to share it with the New York County Dental Society also. So I'm going to step aside now and let you share the dentisting core with the rest of us. So take it away, Paul.
Awesome. Thanks so much. My friendship with you, Mitchell, is so great. You've been so generous, hilarious, just a great part of what Dental Nachos does. Thanks to the team here as well that has had me here, Susan, Diane, everyone, Alexandra, Natalie. Some of my messages I like to infuse throughout I talk about the pill inside the ice cream. So when I was a child, we had a golden retriever and had to take a heartworm pill. My dad would put it. This is our shirt. This is our branded sweatshirt from our office. The 3 teeth. My dad, my brother, me and my brother. My dad unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but amazing dad who taught me so much about life, about dentistry. Just an amazing friend. But what's the pill inside the ice cream? So our dog, would not take her heartworm pill if it wasn't wrapped in ice cream. But so if my dad didn't put ice cream around it, our dog would spit it on the floor, Lindy. So I like to do this with CE, where I try to infuse some things that I want you guys to learn wrapped around ice cream. So I'll help you how to talk to patients, hopefully be more productive, be happier, but also just infuse. Like, it would be awesome if we admired other dentists for their happiness level, how they felt about themselves, not necessarily their crown prep taper. Sometimes we overvalue, oh, that dentist is so great at veneers, and make ourselves feel inferior. So can we look to our colleagues with more kindness? And that's why Mitchell is such a great role model for this. So it's guac gratitude for Mitchell and his team, the highest level of gratitude. This is my daughter on National Guacamole Day. Of course, we celebrated this at Elvez. I just think it's so important to be grateful in your life. Reach out to people, tell them that life during a pandemic is difficult. I mean, not during a pandemic is difficult, during a pandemic, even more difficult. And Mitchell has helped me with one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. So I really like to talk. It's one of the things I'm good at. I'm bad at a lot of other things. I cannot cook. I cannot clean well. I cannot figure out directions. If my only way to fix technology is to turn it on and turn it off and back on. But I have been a speaker in dentistry for 15 years. What I'm doing now is my absolute favorite thing to do. I put in thousands of hours. And when Mitchell posted this on Dental Nachos, I listened to this before big talks all the time. I was in my office today. I actually listened to this while getting ready for this lecture. So this content piece, which is totally free, your favorite price, Dennis, I know you love the free, by Patrick Winston, has over 3 million YouTube views, and I listen to it all the time. It is amazing content on how to communicate. So maybe you don't want to be a public speaker one day or speak to dentists, but you're doing it every day and speaking to patients. So I really appreciate Mitchell for sharing that with me. So it was a 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I was up for 22 straight hours and really, really scared. I'm a person who doesn't get scared easily. So it was the middle of the night, 4 a.m. But what stopped me from totally freaking out? I wasn't confused. So I was scared, but I was not confused. People told me what was going on and what needed to happen. So I was still scared, but not totally freaking out. Still scared, not totally freaking out. And I will be grateful to these people forever for the way they made me feel, not confused, made me feel confident in one of the most scary moments of my entire life. Who were these people and what happened? Let me start with this. When you take a CE course, whether it's a Zoom course, whether it's in person, you think, I'm just gonna learn all this stuff, I'm gonna remember it, I'm gonna write it down. I encourage you, just try to take 1, 2, or 3 things away from each lecture. Just do one thing a little bit better each day. Dental school does not teach us how to learn. It teaches us how to memorize a lot of stuff, but how to implement. So ABME might be one of them. Always be managing expectations. We do this in our dental practice. If we see someone over 10 minutes late, we give them a complimentary Starbucks gift card. That's a system we have in our office. You could raise your hand if you like in the chat. I love interaction. I love in-person stuff way more than Zoom, but I'm so glad we're doing this. Has anyone ever told a patient they're going to do 3 fillings, and after the first filling, they did not want to do any more work on this patient? They could not handle seeing this patient. They were running behind for their next patient. So one of my tips for you, especially less than 10 years out of school, I do this today, never tell people how many things you're going to do. So don't say you're going to do 2 crowns. Don't say you're going to do 3 fillings. Don't say you're going to do 4 extractions, because you're going to set yourself up for a problem. Because maybe the first filling takes too long and you can't do the other ones. And the person says, something's gone wrong. So what can you say? Hey, Mitchell, our game plan is 3 fillings here on the lower right. Are you as excited as I am? They'll laugh because no one's really excited to be at the dentist. What we're going to do is we're going to start with 1 filling. We're going to see how it goes and see how we both feel. After that filling, let's check in with each other and see what the next best step is. Changes the energy. Maybe that person has to leave to pick up their daughter. So I have burned my nachos by telling someone to do 3 fillings. So I did not manage their expectations well. So here was the person who did not get their expectations managed. It's my wife, Mary. So they told her, Because she had her first child quickly, we had our first child in the day, I'll tell you about that in a minute, her second child was going to come quick. So there should be no birth date. There should be a birth week, because as soon as we're past the birth date for when our second daughter was due, we thought there's a problem. So we're walking around Philadelphia, going out to eat. Baby is running late, just like a patient, didn't have the courtesy to even text us. But you don't need to say everything in your mind. So you don't have to say, when things are in your dental, when things are happening in your office, say, do I need to say this out loud or not? Some of these doctors, I don't think they need to say out loud, because your first child came on her due date, your second child's going to come quickly. I don't think there's any medical evidence to show that. So we're walking around Philadelphia, and this was our first child, 2014. Express birth, came right out, ready to go, day of. It was like a DVR birth. We almost had the baby on the street. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the birth process, but it's 2014. If you have a baby on the street, you can never live that down. You could win the Nobel Peace Prize. People remember as the person who had a street baby. So I was very worried for my own reputation. We barely made it to the hospital in time. Mary was outside the hospital at 8. Daphne was here at 9. It was an express DVR birth. So we kind of had expectations this would happen for the second one. So we're 5 days past the due date. I'm teaching an implant course right here in Center City, Philadelphia. And I say, well, my wife's got to come with me because people are not going to let me live it down on dental nachos if I miss the birth for teaching implants. So I say, hang out with me for the day. And there she is with Ariel in 2018, August. So I said, okay, baby's still not here. Let's go out that night. Let's go out that night and go to the movies. So we saw this movie, Crazy Rich Asians. We left the movie theater. Mary felt something was going on. I said, we're going to the hospital. No street baby this time. We get to the hospital and they said, hey, Mary, if your first baby didn't come soon, we probably would send you home, but stay here. You're probably gonna have this baby in the middle of the night. We'll make a long story short. I don't know if this is a technical term for it, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, they woke us up. We had fallen asleep for like 5 minutes and said, we are going to need to do an emergency C-section. So I was freaking out on the inside part of my body. I think the baby was stuck. So what had happened at that time, they bring a whole team in, residents, attendings, they build up your confidence in what is happening, even though you're freaking out on the inside. But one of the most interesting things that happened was this older attending, Dr. Shaw, when I got there, I'm a talkative person, not a surprise. I said, hey, Dr. Shaw, it's amazing that you can stay up through the whole night and, you have a lot of energy. He goes, well, the coffee cart was not open today, so I'm a little tired. And I say, oh, geez. Now tired old OBGYN is going to be tired. But I said, no, he's not going to have to deliver the baby because the baby's just going to fly out like our other baby. So when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and they put me in the gown, they wheel Mary out, I'm freaking out. The anesthesiologist walks by and he goes, you are so lucky to have Dr. Shaw. And I said, I want to say tired old guy, but I just kept that in my mind. I said, why? He goes, he is one of the fastest OBGYNs at C-sections in the whole city. Like it was the old west of C-sections. He said to me, his friend's wife request him because it takes, I don't know, maybe other doctors 2 hours to get the baby out and it takes him like 20 minutes. And he showed me up, we went in there, Drew was born. There was no disaster. I felt comfortable. Oh, sorry, just go back here a second. My computer is acting a little crazy. Felt super comfortable. Did put a Nacho sticker on her head. That was totally true. So it shows you how ABC, always be communicating, is so key. How developing your dentist core and how you talk and how you think and the systems that you have is everything. I was in my dental office today. A lot of things went great and nothing went wrong. So I don't know, did anything go wrong for anyone? You think nothing went wrong for me. Nothing actually ever goes wrong in my dental office. So words have energy. So nothing goes wrong. It does go off script. So change wrong to off script. Patient comes in, lab case doesn't fit right. You don't say this is wrong, this is missing. Hey, this got off script. We're going to get back on script. What we're going to do here is X, Y, Z. So I encourage you to develop systems in your life for everything that happens. Everything that matters needs a system and everything matters. So what prepares you from freaking out? Training and preparation, mental flexibility and communication skills. And what I said here, everything that matters needs a system and make the best decision in the moment. They should talk more about this in our dental school training because they don't talk enough about it. And when we're out there, my other dream, in case you came in late, playing in the NBA did not come true, by the way. I'm here with you. But basketball is about dribbling, shooting, passing, scoring at the same time. Not dental school will be like, we're just going to dribble for 2 years. What about passing? We'll get to that later. And then sometimes later is in the real world and you haven't figured that out. So I know I'm speaking to a lot of dentists 10 years out of school. So I would love if you just took a minute and put in the chat. I know you could do it. I know we're here together. Just how many years you've been out of dental school? It's 2 years. 4 years, 5 years. I know you can do it. We have awesome people here. No one can do it. I'll even take a 30-second break from my face. Put in the chat how many years you've been out of dental school. Just type it in. Watch. Okay, 25. Thanks, Mitchell. 3. I'll put here 19 years for me. 6. Current D4. So we got the whole circle of dentisting life here, which is awesome. Whole circle of dentisting life. I talk about medium age dentist mads like Mitchell and I, 10 to 25 years out. Baby age dentist, not baby dentist, okay? Just in case anyone gets all worked up. It's just the years you got out of school, like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. There are 40-year-olds who are baby age dentists, and there are 35-year-olds who are medium age dentists. I graduated from school when I was 24. Awesome, wherever you are, but just to see where you are in the circle of dentist life. This is, yeah, second year, you're a pre-bad, I call that. A bad in training, baby age dentist in training. So I get a lot of messages on one of my best friends here on my phone. I get messages from dentists all over the country, which is awesome. They are very vague. So one guy who I knew well said, Paul, can we talk about something? Usually, that's not a good thing, right? Whoever says, hey, can we talk about something later? They're quitting, they're fired, they're breaking up with you. So I said, hey, for sure, could you give me like a heads up on what we're going to talk about? He said, something happened so great from your advice. I wanted to thank you. I said, no problem, let's talk. So he calls me up and he says, I just want to share with you, you really encouraged me to get out of my comfort zone. I was in an associate job that was good. I had a better opportunity. I messaged you many times. You might not have realized the impact you had, but it was because what you said helped me get out of my comfort zone. Now I'm in a position where I might become an owner, and I'm really happy I did it. And I needed your help to get out of my comfort zone. And that is the stuff I live for. People have done that for me in the olden days. I had amazing mentors, 2004, 2005, 2006. So look to connect with your committee of mentors, people you can rely on to help look outside your box and kindly encourage you. Don't look for someone. I'm just going to use an example here. Is anyone in an AGD or GPR right now? If they are, type it in. I would love to know that. So let's take my friend here, the D2, because she's got 2 more years. Maybe she thinks she does not want to do a GPR no matter what. I don't want to do a GPR. I don't want to do another year. So what you want to do is you want to hear someone tell you not to do a GPR. So if you walk up to Katie and say, oh, did you do a GPR? And she says no. And you say, oh, okay, well, that's good. Are you having any problems? No. And then you don't do a GPR based on one person. Not a good way to make decisions. Look to ask as many people as possible to help you with your decisions and be willing to go out of your comfort zone, because that's where some of the best things happen. I just was meeting with a dentist at Rittenhouse Square. He finished perio last year. He said, you kindly encouraging me to become a periodontist, Paul, ready for it? Best decision I ever made in my life. It is the best decision. When he was at Einstein 4 years ago, I said, perio is awesome. If you have any inkling into becoming a periodontist, you should do it. He did it. He's happy with that decision. So the main part about your core is decision-making, your life decisions, your clinical decisions, all the things that get you through your dentisting journey. But it's hard out there. So you need people in all ages and stages to help you. So we're going to talk about and infuse tonight repeatable word systems that we can say to people, repeatable word systems that you can say to patients and things when things go wrong. Or just to manage expectations. Simple strategies to improve your practice revenue using video. You saw video in the beginning that I did 20 minutes before this course started. I love using video to share a story. 5-minute practice systems that eliminate confusion and enhance patient service, and how to implement larger treatment plans. But maybe like, I don't know, does anyone want to type in the chat how much their dental school costs? You don't have to say the debt. So my dental school cost $200,000. In 2002 for 4 years, okay? Cost $200,000. Fortunately, I didn't have to take out that many loans. I took out a small amount of loans, but not that many loans. Really great for my parents. Some people took out all the loans. But dental school debt is going up and up and up. And we got to develop our core. So Mitchell's here, who really is a hip, medium-aged dentist, early SAD. But some dentists, they've been out for 30 years in their cave. They have no idea what dental school costs. So how can I tell people how you have to develop your core, and how much does dental school cost now? What is the debt like? Let's go to the video and see what kind of story this shares.
Go.
Okay, this is a dentist who graduated in the 1990s with debt. Oh, it's manageable. A little tough, but manageable. All right, off 1990s debt. Next.
2000's debt in the purple. Oh, this is my generation. Not easy, but the cost to go to dental school, probably at the high end, $200,000. Okay, off. 2010 debt, green sweatshirt. Oh man, dental school pricing has gotten doubled, even though new grads are making the same. Dentist income is stagnant. Okay, 2020 debt. Everybody on here.
Oh,
Next. Good. Good. Drew, can you get on?
Drew, get on the back. Get on the back.
Okay. Hold on, Drew. There's 2021 debt. Oh, that's so tough. Thanks, guys. That's awesome.
I am pretty good at push-ups and I could not move them. So we have to embrace that this affects all of us, not just our newest dentist. It influences the industry. So what are some ways for us to overcome this, make these things a little bit better? But also, money is important as a dentist, but what about morale? So I've made a few examples. So raise your hand if this is something that you can relate to. Why developing your dental core matters so much to your survival as a dentist and human being. So does anyone know what insurance write-offs mean and adjustments? Did they teach us that in dental school? So when you get a job as an associate and the crowns are $1,200, you say, oh, awesome. I'm going to make a third of $1,200. They said, you see the spoiled guac PPO plans, you're going to make a third of $600. What if dental insurances have the frog in the boiling pot? I heard is a myth story, but what have they done to dentistry? The dentists in the 80s, my dad included, accepted PPOs that were paying sometimes 85% of their fee. And I just want to share with you, this is real. You can't see this. I'll show this. So you might be able to see it on my phone. So Mitchell, I know, is in the background. So here, if you want me to tell you what the problem is with dentistry in one photo, I'll try to see if you can see it here. Not going to reveal any classified information. I don't know if you can see this, but let me just show it to you. I took a picture for today. So Mitchell and crew, we have services that we are going to bill $2,160 for. And the insurance company says, thanks for saying that. We're going to allow $928, less than 50% of our fee. Those crown fee for that insurance is from the 1990s or earlier. So that is a challenge. That's something JBR we have to realize, just be real about this, because we have to figure out a way to deal with this. Then, has anybody said, just want to let you know, I don't hate you, I hate the dentist. Has anyone been told in the last month that someone has hated them as a dentist? Because we all hear that. And people who can't lean too far back in the chair. So these are all things that hurt our morale as dentists and humans. What about an associate dentist? Have any of you associates ever been left with the whole office to run because the owner wanted to take a vacation? Raise your hand. Said, I'm going on vacation, it's going to be fine. Anyone have been in a scenario like that? My dad he told this story so many times that when he met his partner, I was an associate for a year to start. He started in July. The partner went to France for 3 weeks in August. And my dad had no idea how to run the office. He has no idea why his partner thought that would be okay. And then when you find out, you do that crown, what the PPO insurance pays, you might be like Reese Witherspoon here and say, what are you talking about? So if we only had 71 seconds left in this presentation, this would be the entire presentation. The entire learning objectives are summarized in this 71-second presentation. Develop repeatable word systems to streamline the challenging nature of patient communication. Review simple strategies to improve practice revenue, the power of video. Learn practice systems to eliminate confusion and enhance patient service, and explore how to implement larger treatment plans. So the most productive procedure a general dentist can do is restoring a single posterior implant. It's fairly quick, easy, and productive. Class 2 composites, not that way. What's really productive are implant overdentures. So raise your hand out there if you would like to help as many patients as possible. Help as many patients as possible. You're a helper. Good. Thank you for raising. I appreciate it. I'm here in this room by myself. Thank you very much. Thank you again for now. Raise your hand if you would like to make as much money as possible. As much money as possible. Okay. We also got hands up for that. Well, this does both. In dentistry, the more help you deliver, it corresponds with the productivity. Now, you can help someone by just extracting a perio-involved tooth. That's good help. But when you do these cases, this is a medium-sized case. You can be productive, you can have fun, you can use systems. So let's see what we see in this 71-second video. And I'll point out everything from our learning objectives in 71 seconds. Happier patients equal happier teams equal less annoyed dentists. Since we went to dental school, it's illegal for us to ever be truly happy. It's totally illegal. There's a study that shows that. But we can be less annoyed each day. I know we can do that. Our team can be happy, patients happy, us still kind of annoyed, but we can be less annoyed together. I know we can do it.
Happier.
Okay, dentistry friends, it's Paul, Dr. Nacho, and we have some interesting patient bibs. Oh, look at this. Maybe you guys want some of these bibs like this. So when you finish a big case, this is one of our best patients, Bob, even though he is, what's your favorite football team?
Patriots.
The Patriots. It's rough having him as a patient, but he is a great guy. So he here had a case where he has put a lot of time and effort into his teeth, but it was...
Not sure if you've noticed, 22 seconds in, I'm fully positive, okay? Dental school is toxic, always tells us what we do wrong. Be positive, okay? So I asked him a fun question. What was his favorite football team? What's your favorite TV show? Schitt's Creek. Who likes Schitt's Creek? Who likes that show? I like it. I'm on watching it again. Who likes The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Raise your hand. Who likes chicken parmesan? Ask people fun questions. So now he said he's put a lot of time and effort into his teeth. It's not time. They're not failing. They're not failing. Such a negative word. Time for these teeth to retire and be replaced. So those were his upper teeth, which he should be proud of all the work he put into. Now it's time to replace them and for them to retire. Let's check back in 22 seconds in.
Time for these teeth to retire. So we decided different plans, talked with him on many of our treatment plans and options. And
we decided on this plan after talking about different plans, like a menu. Fix stay in all the time teeth, snap in and out teeth, dentures without implants. Do you want a tip that you can say for the rest of your life? Deliver immediate value. Deliver immediate value and do it to you. Dentures without implants are for smiling, not chewing. Hey, Mrs. Smith, you know when you go to your granddaughter's recital, if you have a denture, you're going to be able to smile and look like you have teeth. Great. But when everyone goes and eats the hoagies afterwards, your denture's not going to help you eat the hoagies. That's a story that has impact. The story is always the star. So now we're just 29 seconds into this video. And what did we learn? Be positive. Talk to patients like people. Don't say fail. Say time to replace and retire. Give a menu of treatment options without judgment, including the option of no treatment. What happens if there's no treatment?
we went with an implant overdenture, and today we have a U-shaped implant overdenture. We're going to take a look at this here. So Bob, bite down and smile for us. Awesome, look awesome. Now pop them out for us to show us how they work. Good, so they snap into position.
So look at that. Now we're doing clinical stuff. Part of the core. Snap in and out. U-shaped overdenture. I can use this to show to other patients what the U-shaped overdenture looks like. I can use this to show a new team member. Do you know teeth can snap in and out? People really like that. It doesn't cover the roof of your mouth. It's light. People like to clean it underneath the sink. Now we're only 43 seconds into this video. So the power of video is going to help you be happier, make a lot of money. You don't, when I say make a lot of money, there's a high overhead in dentistry. Mitchell can tell you this at the end. You bring in $1,000, our patients think you profit $950. Doesn't work that way. But you're at the office and your team needs money. You need money to pay your rent. You might need money to pay debt. You might as well be as productive as possible in a patient-centered way, a responsible way. And this is one of the ways that you can do it with larger implant treatment plans.
There are the snaps inside of here. I'll just take a look there. They're the snaps there. And our mentee, our baby age dentist, Dr. An, did an awesome job. You have a fun time doing this, Dr. An?
Yeah.
Bob, how do you like your new teeth?
I like them. I love them.
So that's the whole thing. Now I got a baby age dentist associate and the patient loves his teeth. An's having a good time. Great. This is the awesome part. We just went over annoying part. What does my insurance cover? Can't lean back in the chair. Dental insurance is decreasing fees. Right now, at the moment of this video, implants are not as affected by insurance as other stuff. Implants help people chew and smile with confidence. This sounds good. Work that can be productive and patients like it. What do we need to do to unlock this potential? And most of it is the words you say. It's your mindset, your words you say. Restoring dental implants. I could teach my wife to restore this case. It has to, can you use a screwdriver? You're 90% of the way there. You have to follow directions. You have to do treatment plan, but it's a great and fun way to have a low stress clinical procedure, high productive procedure, and AATI always about the impact.
All right, nice. Pop those back in. And most important question when someone gets this is what is the first thing that you want to eat, looking forward to eating?
Pistachios.
Pistachios. Okay, go easy. There could be like little rocks, pistachios. So go easy, man. I have a pizza or nacho.
That's my dream.
All right, awesome, Bob. Great job, guys.
Happy.
So what questions can I answer about that? So I'm here with you guys, but it's not about me just be this talking head book. You can get all this stuff on Dental Nacho Flix. There's tons of free content that you can listen, but I'm here physically with you in this moment. So what questions can I answer for you about how that medium level implant case went from start to the middle part to finish? How do we talk about the money? Does anyone have questions about that? So I'm going to ask you, this is a very valuable question. Has anyone been checking a hygiene patient and thought they were never going to stop talking and you could never get back to your room? Raise your hand if that has ever happened to you. Your hygiene patient is going blah, 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 trip to France, right? So this is what you say. What questions can I answer for you about your night guard? What questions can I answer for you about your periodontal? What questions can I answer for you about this? Fill in the blank. And the patient has to say something or say, no, I don't have any questions. So I'm either the best CE presenter in the history of CE to give a 71-second video, and now you know everything about implant overdentures, or I feel there's some questions. So what questions can I answer about this? I'll give you like 60 seconds to put some in the chat. Thank you for the question, Susan. Awesome job. Natalie, send her a Nacho t-shirt. Just get her address. She gets a free Nacho t-shirt for asking a question. Do I ever get pushback from patients or procedure? Yes, all the time. I often get pushback from them. So I just go back to authentically sharing in patient-friendly terms their concerns. We're going to talk about that system, giving them a menu of treatment options and saying, and I believe I heard this from Mark Hyman, which option fits best into your life at this time? Which option fits best into your life at this time? But patients get overwhelmed. So if you ever talk to a patient and they're just overwhelmed with the choices, the money, they're not sure, you can see it on their face, what can you say to make them feel better? What can you say to make them feel better? And here's what you could say. This is a phrase you could use forever. I just finished an implant overdenture on someone new, and I encourage them, kindly annoy them to start the bottom. I could tell the patient was overwhelmed. So this is what I said, and just take a picture of this slide. It's going to help you tomorrow. Someone's going to say this tomorrow, and the patient's going to look at you like you're their friend, which you are, like you care, which you are. You just don't know how to say the words. Here are the words. When you are ready to move forward, we will be ready to help you. When you are ready to be forward, when you are ready to move forward, we will be ready to help you. It's very friendly. It's very likable. It allows you to move forward when a patient has not made a yes or no choice, or not right now choice. When you are ready to move forward, we will be ready to help you. I got another good question. Is it better for dentists to allow someone else to discuss the cost? I once visited a dentist that did not talk about cost. Yes, that is ideal for not the dentist not to have to talk about the cost. I've talked about cost many times. I didn't have the right team members. They weren't trained. Great for this slide here. Simple strategies for success. Simple strategies for success. We have a Dentrix form, which the codes, which is mainly internal, and we have a yellow financial form. The yellow financial form is the backbone of how we get case acceptance. We get out the form, we review with the patient, we share how they can pay. This patient, Paul Goodman, needs dental care. I don't know what it is, $5,000, $8,000. Hey, Paul, there's 3 ways you can take care of this. People love orders and lists. Karen Cortell-Reisman, great speaker coach. The first way is to pay the entire part when you start, entire fee when you start. And here's the key. You will save $252.50. So you guys are going to vote, okay? Are you going to pick pay in full, stretch out over treatment, or outside financing? So first option is 5% courtesy. Second option is no savings, stretch it out over the course of treatment. Third option is you want to stretch it out for 2 or 3 years, outside financing. So who would pick saving the $252 and paying in full? Who would pick saving the $252 and paying in full? Okay. Who would pick stretch out over treatment? Raise your hand. Stretch out over treatment. And would anyone pick outside financing? I'm sure some of you would. In my experience, 50% of people or more pick pay it in full because they love a deal. Everyone loves saving money. Anybody wants a copy of this form, now they put in the chat how you can email her for the yellow form. It has helped us move patients forward, Daniel paying to sell us human, to generate thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars treatment plan help. This simple yellow form. Take it, make it your own, talk about it, use it in your staff, practice it. It's for you to use and have that conversation. Do you want to take care of all of it at once? Save 5%. That's how this works. Do you want to stretch out it over a course of treatment? Or, oh, I need 3 years. No problem. We have a solution for that. We have outside financing. How do I talk to patients when they have unreasonable expectations? That's pretty much an everyday occurrence. Great question from your resident. I got this question last night at my Ask Dr. Nacho Anything session, so I can deliver general value, but I would love to deliver specific value. So while I'm delivering general value, if you could give me an example of those unreasonable expectations, if you give me an example of them, I would love to speak to that example, but I have a system for this every time. Somebody says, I want to stretch out the payments for 10 years. Somebody says, I need my crown done in the next 2 weeks or I'm not going to you. Somebody says, I need my teeth to look like I was 20 years old and they're 80. Super unreasonable, whatever it is, okay? When anyone asks you a weird question, question you don't know the answer to, or has unrealistic expectations, show E first. What's that mean? Show empathy first. Show empathy first. This is what you say. A lot of people have asked me that. I hear that question a lot. A lot of people wonder that. Makes them feel normal, okay? If you don't want to, if you can't even say a lot, right? Because you don't want to lie to yourself, you could say, people have asked me that before. That person has. So that's a good question. I would want to know that too. The way it works is when we do a crown, we send it to a lab that carefully makes you a new tooth, like a hard hat for your tooth. Dr. Todd Fleischman says that. That's a 4-week process. We wouldn't want to rush that because we want to do the best job possible. So this is the goal. Do not forget this. This is from my speaker coach. It will help you with your kids, your parents, your friends, everyone. People don't argue with their own decisions, Carol Kivler. So that person who wanted the crown done in the next 10 days, you explain and recenter their expectations. You say, so what would be best for you? To do the crown, prepare the crown tomorrow and insert it in 4 weeks, or is now not the best time to do this crown? Close your mouth. Close your mouth. And they have to pick. I know that you would like to stretch it out over 10 years. The way it works is we have 3 awesome options: pay in full, stretch out over treatment, or outside financing. Which one of those options fits best for you? Just go back to your confident words. If you want to give me an example of what those expectations were, be glad to answer them later. So some of us have new relationships, okay? I'm friends with Mitchell. We've been friends for a while. I'm sure he'll get some value out of this, but he's probably seen it. But what if I could tell you the answer to the most common question you get asked in a dental office? The most common question in a dental office is about dental insurance. It doesn't matter if you're fee for service and you have a temporary face tattoo that says fee for service. Fee for service dentists have to talk about dental insurance all the time. They may not have to write off their fees, but when someone says, what does my insurance cover? Why does my insurance stink? This is what you say. If you want to take your iPhone, this is all on my YouTube channel, by the way, too. There's all these things are out there for free. I mean, I have stuff that people can buy. We have Dental Nachos CE, but I love when people use our free stuff and use it. You just have to find it and use it. So you go on our YouTube channel and get it. You could take this while we're doing it. So I made this video that has a few captions in it and a call to action. This video is for patients. So right now I'm going to ask the 30 plus people we have here to pretend you're a dental patient, pretend you're a totally normal person, not a dentist, and you have dental insurance, spoiled guac PPO, and you need a crown. And you're not sure what it covers. You're just totally not sure how it works, like most people. Tell me what you learned from this video and how your expectations were managed. So you need a crown on number 30, you have spoiled guac PPO, and you say to me, what does my insurance cover? How does my insurance work? Let's see what word systems I use, power of video, simple scripts in this here. You can use this phrase for the rest of your life.
As a dentist, one of the most common questions I get asked is, does my insurance cover this procedure? How does my dental insurance work? My name is Dr. Paul Goodman, practice owner of Pennington Dental Associates in Pennington, New Jersey, and I would like to share with you how dental insurance works. Dental insurance is not really insurance. Dental insurance is a coupon that acts like a benefit with blackout dates, just like airline miles. At our office, Pennington Dental Associates, we will do the best job possible to maximize the benefit of your coupon to contribute to your dental care. We would love to meet you, and you can do so by visiting PenningtonDentalCenter.com or reaching out to us at 609-737-0288. Our goal is to help you chew and smile with confidence and make dentistry a little more fun.
So here's my question. So if we're in a room, Mitchell knows my style and Mitch's got a great style. I would just say, answer this, but I can't do that here. Just there's nobody back here, just my wall. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, say a word from that video. How do you feel about me? What's a word to describe me as a potential dentist for you? What did I do in that video to make you feel a certain way about me as your dentist? Can anyone put something in the chat? Girl, dad, I like that. That's true. That is my proudest thing. But let's say you just saw this going by on Facebook and you just said, what does my insurance cover? You're like, I have dental insurance, and I'm a stranger. Do I seem friendly? Do I seem confident? Do I seem to explain things well? Did I use the word coupon, which everyone knows? So one of the dental Nachoers excitedly sent me a message saying, Paul, someone said confident, great. Paul, I used your coupon thing, and the patient went from mad to accepting the treatment. So someone said to an actual dentist from Dental Nachos, I can't believe you, blah, 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 my insurance, blah, blah, blah. And they said, I'm going to remember the Nacho guy thing. Your insurance like a coupon with blackout dates. The patient accepted the treatment from those magic words because the patient was mad at the dentist, but then they became mad at their insurance. Empathetic. So just recenter expectations. All about the words that you use, the words that you.
As a dentist, one of the most common
Paul, you're muted.
Sorry, thanks, guys. I was saying I like doing all these different jobs, dentist, practice broker, all these things, but also I'm a person just like you guys, striving to manage this crazy world, striving to manage annoyed patients, team members that get sick, challenging things. The more we bond together, dental term, the more we can be there for each other. No one likes the dentist. We might as well like each other. So I encourage you, reach out to dentists in your area and be friendly to them. You don't have to be BFF. Go out to lunch, ask them some questions. We work in this cave profession. It can be very lonely. It doesn't matter. I used to work in our satellite office on Thursdays by myself. I had an awesome hygienist, an awesome assistant, and an awesome front desk. I felt very alone. They couldn't drill on a tooth. They couldn't take care of some of these problems. They were there to support me. So support your fellow dentist out there. And be the best version of you. It's so important. This was prior to the pandemic. We can go to Orange Theory. But sometimes you eat donuts and sometimes stuff doesn't go well. Don't judge yourself too much. Just try to be the best version of you that you could be. Don't compare yourself to other dentists. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about you besides your friends and family. Nobody cares about me besides my friend and family. Nobody cares how much money I make, how many practices I have. So craft a journey for you that is the one that you want, and be willing to adjust it. And Natalie's here in the chat. ABC is always be creative. Always be caring and not making yourself totally nuts, living some sort of mindset from some weird dental school time where those people stay there the whole time. What's kind of nuts to me and I taught in dental schools and taught in residencies, and I love teaching new people stuff, as you could tell. But a lot of times in dental schools, you often have, if you're using parenting, people who've never been parents, never been practice owners, or people had practices 40 years ago. So it's challenging. So when someone says to me, I would never have let my daughter use an iPad. I'm like, how old are your kids? They're like 40. I'm like, well, there were no iPads. You would have let them use it in a second. So we need to just influence each other in productive ways. Doesn't mean dental school instructors are bad. Just means that you're not always getting in dental school a good example of what the real world of dentisting basketball is like.
So if you want to be happier, less annoyed each day, deliver more patient-centered care, but nobody wants to work more hours because dentistry hours are dog-ear hours, you have to remember creating impact for people. Patient teams or you is going to get you there. So as we move forward with this, and I could do this for 10 hours, and the lecture, the first 5 minutes is the same as the last 20 minutes, share with me something I can answer for you. I'm here. A specific question I can answer for you. They've recorded this presentation. Show wherever you want. Watch it on Netflix. We have tons of awesome content. Natalie can put in the chat how to get that. But we need to start making changes to how we communicate. So this is my last patient of 2020, okay? Summed up the year well. Poor patient, fractured this tooth. Number 4. So can you please put in the chat how you would describe number 4? Could you please put in the chat the word you would use to describe tooth number 4? Okay, please put in the chat the word you would use to describe. Toast, okay, it's better. Toast is good. Though I always liked toast. I never quite understood that. I guess it was burnt. Then what would you describe it as? So dental school doesn't teach us how to talk to people, but it does teach us how to be really weird because we describe it as it's a virgin, pure as the driven snow, a virgin with a hopeless prognosis. Hard to say goodbye to hopeless virgins, nod the boys to men. Get it together, dentist. What do you say with teeth about big fillings? They're promiscuous tooth. Nelly Furtado's going to come sing it. This is a perfect example of our problems. We don't talk to patients in patient-friendly terms, and we become unlikable and weird. Just like this meme I made last night. When you say to a 78-year-old person at 10:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, can't do a bridge here, Millie, your tooth is a virgin, you're just making it weird. So how can we do better? And while this maybe hopefully is a funny joke, no idea if anyone's laughing. You can raise your hand if you're laughing. If you're not laughing, you can lie to me. It's not like real lectures. So talk to patients like people and magic will happen, just like sharing nachos. Thanks for raising your hand, Joanne. I appreciate it. So the recipe for your case acceptance. Recipe for you for better case acceptance. Systems, tools, words, enthusiasm, troubleshooting, total team effort, and realizing your morale plus money matters. Treatment planning is what dentists do outside the operatory. Your weird dentist stuff. What's the probing depth? What's CR? CR equal to CO? That's never happened. Has anyone had CR equal to CO? Does the world stop if that ever happens, right? Treatment sharing is what we do inside the operatory. So we share inside the operatory. So I want to ask you guys a question. And also, if there's some non-dentists here, I want you to participate too. If I said, we have a lot of dentists less than 5 years out of school. We have a D2 in here. And I saw one of my friends who just popped in, who's a D4. If I said to be a successful dentist in the real world, you have to be really good at selling dentistry. You have to be really good at selling dentistry to be a successful and happy dentist. Who does not like that term, sell? I don't like it. It's not like, not on my watch. I don't like the word sell. Does any raise your hand if you do not like the word sell? So when I do this, I get a lot of people say, I don't like that. I don't sell dentistry, which is literally insane because they sell us on going to dental school. The work in dental school is not free, so they have to pay for that. And why can't we just sell help, which is what we're doing? But I'll help you with this, okay? How about this? Who likes this? To be a successful dentist, this D2 in here who's listening, don't be contaminated by this weird Nacho guy. Here's Nacho Tyler Durden. To be a successful dentist, it's really important you connect with people and motivate them to move forward and be healthier. Who likes that? Who loves that one? It's sell, by the way, guys. It's the same thing. Sell, share, move forward. It's the exact same thing. Be proud to sell the help that you can sell. You're selling chewing, which is eating. You're selling helping people feel better about themselves. Get out of this weird mindset. If you want to play a fun game here for a second while we play this video, okay, I'm going to play a video here. And here's the number. If while I'm playing this video, you want to text in, there are 3 celebrities people say I look like. 3 celebrities. If you want to text in, the main one is a baseball player. Get this a lot. Here's my face in case anyone wants to see it. Here's my face. If you want to text in your answer to this number, your phone won't melt down. Natalie, text in your answer, your address and t-shirt size. You'll get a free t-shirt. They're valued at least $20 or 5 Bitcoin. No idea how Bitcoin works. So you can get a free t-shirt if you text in, what celebrity do you think I look like? Watch this. You don't have to be right. Okay, it's great if you're right, I'll tell you. So while this video's going, what celebrity do I look like? There's 3 main answers. The main one's a baseball player. Here's my face again. So here's this video, which shares with you. And if you look on the side here, what am I teaching here? Am I sharing? Am I selling? What core skills do you see? We've been talking for 40 minutes. What core skills? Business, leadership, patient communication, heart skills, clinical skills. What do you see here? And how can you take something from this video, maybe just one thing, and have it help you develop your skills? What is an SOA, your sense of accomplishment? This person came in during a pandemic. I did this case 12 years ago. I'm 43 years old. All of his teeth needed to retire and be replaced. What made him trust a 31-year-old to take over this entire case and move him forward? My team helped. I had an in-house periodontist who helped, but I managed this entire case. All the planning, every step, all the lab work, all the costs, what we're going to charge him. Okay. Let's see. So this person came in, all their teeth need to be replaced and retire. And this is what happened. Did someone say my name? No? Okay, good. So you can also text in for who do I look like for a prize from Natalie while this is going.
Hey dentist friends, it's Paul, Dr. Nacho. I'm here with one of my favorite patients and people that I've ever met in my entire life. We're going to share a fun story of taking Rick from getting his teeth replaced years ago to where he is today. We're going to ask him some questions about the process. So first, Rick, I appreciate you being part of this video, helping dentists learn, sharing stories. Tell us back in 2008, you came to this office. How did you get here?
Well, I did a Google search,
right?
And I thought, my teeth are getting so bad, I don't want to be like my
34 seconds in, he did a Google search in 2008. No Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram. I was using pay-per-click marketing, SEO. I was investing in that because I knew I wanted to see patients like that. And I knew the internet would help me bring me those patients. So this was early days of doing this. So he did a Google search. He did not ask a friend who to go to. That would be a mind or business skill that I use there.
80-year-old relatives that are going to the dentist every other week,
right,
to have something repaired and fixed. I just want to be done with it, have a nice smile, and you were the one.
Well, I appreciate that. And I still remember we had a great marketing system then. I see the power of the internet, where we would record calls so we could learn from them. I remember hearing your call and saying, hey, I hope you guys can help me. I checked you out online. So when you came in and you see a 31-year-old me, now I'm 43 years old, what were some of the things I did to make you feel like you could trust me, move forward? Because I was only 31 years old at the time. Did you think I was too young, you know?
Oh, I was so happy that you were young, because I figured, well, even when I'm really old, you're going
to
still be around.
Yeah.
And you were so enthusiastic about the whole case and, you know, what we wanted to accomplish, and you got what I wanted to do.
Thanks. And what I like to share with my dental audience here is that you can make things fun. Instead of talking in dental school terms like things have failed, you could say, hey, it's time for your teeth to retire and replace them. So we, back then, removed these teeth, preserved the bone. You were part of our team. You even got a chance to have some work done with my dad, with our awesome periodontist. We have a great lab that did this. Now this is back in, we finished this case in 2012. Removed your teeth, put in screw in all the time. Screw in, stay in all the time teeth. Patients don't care about dental terms and all this, they care about how it impacts them. So we talk about snap in and out teeth, you can clean under the sink, or stay in all the time, screw in teeth. How's been your experience with having these screw in teeth?
I forget that they're not the ones I was born with, except they feel better and they look way better.
That's awesome, right? And I would imagine, because you're just such a awesome person and you're outgoing, do people think these are just your regular teeth?
I don't think anybody thinks anything different
you get
unless I tell
on
them.
These teeth, right?
I do.
Now, a couple things. So I know my dental people. We're an interesting people. Dental school teaches us to be an interesting way. So we've replaced regular teeth, natural teeth, with implant-supported teeth, traditionally called fixed hybrids. We did this in 2012. So we use different materials now, but we have acrylic over a bar, which has been great. But one of the cool things about you that I don't have, and this awesome person taking the video have, you get what, Rick? What do you have at home?
you know,
Oh,
an
of
extra
course.
set.
Oh yeah, an extra set.
So we made like an extra set of teeth. I don't have an extra set of teeth.
Yeah.
So if anything ever happens, always be planning ahead, dentist. If a tooth needs to be repaired, if acrylic fractures off, if there's a challenge, you have a whole extra set which you made at that time. Does that make you feel more confident and secure?
Oh, without a doubt, except I forget that they're not mine, so
Yeah.
I don't even think, oh yeah, there's an extra
Yeah,
set.
so that's
but
it.
it is good when you point out that I do have.
Patient stories to do 3 things. 1, help other patients who are in analysis paralysis stage to move forward. 2, teach other dentists. And 3, have more fun with your team, yourself, increase profitability, increase production, and do the things why we went to dental school to help people just like Rick. So thanks so much for being part of this video.
Thank you for giving me my smile back, and they feel great. I'm so happy I did it.
So before we wrap up, this has been such a great. So as you could see, this is a patient sharing their authentic story, the best decision they've ever made, because I started out being able to talk to the person about what they could do. As we get to my answer, you guys did some great answers. Great answers. Really, this has made my night. Someone said Zac Efron. That was the nicest one. That was the first time I got it. Mark Teixeira was good, but someone did get it right. Everyone gets a prize who texted in. Make sure you text Natalie your t-shirt size. But the correct answer, Justin Verlander. Sometimes Tom Cruise, sometimes Steve Carell. So Justin Verlander, Tom Cruise, or Steve Carell. So that is my doppelganger there. So I know every good CE course ends on time, not like the English patient from Seinfeld, but I would love to answer questions from you guys. I know Mitchell might pop back on here, but that was our 50 minutes of time. So hopefully that was the right amount of time. If you guys need me to go longer, I can, but if that's good, Mitchell.
No, I agree. Anybody wants to type questions to the chat, that would be great, Paul. Now, as you indicated before, I have seen this lecture that you do before, although I will say that it's never exactly the same twice. It's always a little bit different. And one thing that I think about when I watch it, you do this, is I remember very clearly my first 5 years out of dental school, being very intent on working on my skills.
Right.
I wanted my composite skills. I wanted to get better at prepping crowns. I wanted to do better with managing aesthetics. And at the time, you know, and I practiced with my dad, same as you did, but I didn't really have anybody until the end of my residency who even indicated to me that these communication skills were skills just as important as anything else that I could do, in some ways more, because you don't get to do the dental skills unless you have the ability to communicate what you need.
I mean, looking back, and I was no different. I just front loaded a lot of this with a multi-year GPR, but we get so excited, you know, to do these skills. But if we can't get patients to say yes to them, it actually is demoralizing, because I always say this. I mean, let me just explain this analogy because it's a really good one. I am 2 doors down from one of the best restaurants on planet Earth. Mark Vetri is a top Iron Chef. He started the original tasting menu stuff. So let's say you went to see with Mark Vetri, which Mitchell, you might agree, is like Dr. Jason Smithson, right? Who's going to do veneers. You go there, you spend the money, he teaches you, but then you go back and you work at an Olive Garden. There's nothing wrong with an Olive Garden, but you actually will be demoralized to not use them. So make sure that you can get people to say yes and refer out. Implants are so you've been so authentic about sharing about implants, Mitchell. Implants are universal. You wish you had learned to place some early in your career. So watch this. Get your periodontist to place them. You restore them. When you're consistently referring, take a course on how to place them. So it's to me the missing link for new dentists, because words are free to use, and you can work on them through podcasts, like this, and it's so key to really just making your day better morale-wise, but you're going to have the consequence of making more money. So thanks for saying that.
Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this, Paul. I know I've been talking to people for a while about getting you to come out and do a program for us. Actually, we were going to have you come out and do a longer program in person about this time last year. And then for some reason, something happened and then we couldn't do live CE anymore. And we are going to do that at some point
Now we have
in the
some
future.
good questions coming in here, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can read them. One said, these are great ones.
What is the hardest type of case to convince a patient to do? What is the hardest type of case to convince a patient to do?
So it's really a great question. Mitchell might have seen one of my other implant cases with Mark Dorio, who I asked him. He hadn't seen a dentist in 30 years. It's very similar to that video. And I one time did a short video with him asking him what made him do this. And he said it got bad enough. And he's an executive coach. So while these are obviously poignant things, but maybe your relationship with your spouse gets bad enough. Maybe your financial situation gets bad enough. Maybe your personal situation your physical self gets bad enough. What's hard is if the patient is not in that place of embracing the true concern, it's really hard to motivate them to move forward. You want to keep them safe. You want to definitely highlight, this is just one of my tips that you guys can use. So you ever have patients, they have like a fistula and they go, this little pimple comes up and down. Is that normal? And you're like, no, it's not normal. You're a crazy person. Which one of your other teeth do this, right? So they go, it doesn't hurt now. So whoever says when patients say, it doesn't hurt now. So what I share is like, these are like mini infections. Think of it like a mini fire that starts in a waste paper basket. You don't want it to spread to other parts of your mouth. Because as a GPR resident, I've dealt with massive infections from people that started small and took over their entire face. So I keep them safe, but it's a great question. If the patient is not really ready to embrace their true concern, like that patient in that video, or the other patient, they are hard to convince that person. Why motivated to work on communication? Because communication is everything in life to me. It's the best part of life. Caring about people, helping them, and it's so hard to practice. And the skills that you need are not often ones that are easy to find. And in that book, I still want to thank you, Mitchell, for Patrick Winston. He basically says your success in life is dictated by how well you speak. I mean, your success in life is dictated. And he wasn't talking to dentists. He was actually talking to college students trying to go out and get jobs.
That's the best part about it. Yeah, it's universal.
Yeah. How do I deal with patients considering too young? Love this. Last night, does anyone know Jordan Brown? Maybe popped on. He's on Instagram, very fit. He's got a bunch of followers. So he came on my show, Ask Dr. Nacho Anything. He asked this exact same question. So it goes back to the same thing. This person who asked it, I mean, you can type in if you said it. If you were going to go to the doctor and they gave you to the youngest doctor, would you feel like maybe the youngest doctor has no idea what they're doing? That's a normal feeling. So show empathy and say this. If I was going to the newest or youngest provider, I would feel just like you. What I would like to share is, since I just finished the program, GPR Dental School, there's some really cool new things that I've learned that I could use. But what's great about this practice is I also get to learn from dentists who've been doing it for a long time. So do not fight their fear that has never once worked with a 6-year-old to a 66-year-old. Show empathy and say, I would feel the same way as you. But what I want to share with you is I'm excited because I've learned new things, but I also get to leverage or learn from the people who are here. They're usually just fear. A couple sentences gets them through it. But if you act weird about it, they're going to make it more weird. Have I always been a good communicator with patients? When did I start feeling confident? So probably a classic way. My communication skills, I believe, came from being a restaurant server for many years. I'm still building it up time and time again. I feel confident Mitchell, when you prep a crown, do you just pick up any random burr and just start prepping, or tell these people, what's your first move when you prep a crown? It might be different for everyone else, but what's your first move?
Check the x-ray and make sure it's the right tooth.
Right, good.
That's
good
my
system.
first move, personally.
Great system. But we have systems for reduce the occlusal, do this.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with words.
Yes.
And it's just a process. You can't give up unless you're not going to be a dentist and you're going to, I don't know, bake cakes. I guess if you bake cakes, if you own the place, you have to talk to people, but it's just developing this core a little bit each day has such a big impact. Gary,
also because as you're a young dentist, you're starting out, whether you're working for somebody else, you're interviewing or looking for jobs, these are the same skills that help you communicate well with people who are interviewing you, who might employ you, at some point. For
sure. It's the same thing to make people feel confident in what you're doing, as confident as possible in what you're doing. The meaning behind Dental Nachos to me is I'm a lot of different toppings, broker, speaker, dentist, and I love nachos. I worked at Mexican restaurants. So I said I'm a lot of toppings. When I started the group, Susan, people were just posting pictures of nachos, which was kind of like the appetizer version of the golden retriever puppy. So it's had this fun vibe of trying to be serious about what we do, but not take ourselves too seriously. That's sort of my life mantra.
Okay.
Would I hire a dentist straight out of school, no GPR, AGD? If you want my authentic answer from me, no, I would not. I require a GPR, AGD for this reason. Believe it or not, it's more for the dentist than it is for me. Being in private practice, especially in 2021, and Mitchell, you could weigh in, it's different than even 20 years ago when I graduated. The level of questions from patients, business nature of running a practice, whether it's online reviews, it's just more complicated. My dad said this at the end of his life. Running a business is way more complicated. Doing a crown is doing a crown. That I would want someone working with us to have practiced for a year in a supportive environment in a GPR AGD before they came into private practice, because it's not practical to teach too much hands-on during the day. And the reason for that, I came from my office, is I love teaching. I could make a patient feel confident. If it was Dr. Tim, you didn't know up from down with an implant impression, I could go in and make it all better and I don't have the time because I'm seeing my own patients. I don't know, Mitchell, if you wanted to add in about where you see a GPR AGD.
I think it's essential, but still, even after an AEGD, you're still fairly new and need to communicate well. But I did hire a hygienist directly out of school once, first time in my career, and it was mostly because she had excellent grades and she was a very good candidate, but she also was extremely mature and communicated very well for her age. And I knew that although there were many things that she didn't quite know yet, I just knew personality-wise that I could teach her those things fairly quickly.
The thing about why would I hire a periodontist right out of school? Obviously, it's a little different because they only do a few procedures. General dentistry is like a diner, and hygienists, you can just get them into this trophy lane and teach them. But having to do filling, crowns, extractions, invest in yourself in that GPR AGD. You'll be glad that you did. And I just want to share with you guys, and because not everybody posts things on social media because we're not the most supportive bunch when things aren't going well. I don't know if you've noticed this, right? So I get a lot of messages. Natalie's here. We have a salsa@dentalnachos.com. You want to email us anything? It's like a Dear Dr. Nacho Abby. For the first year, there's many people going back to do GPRs, AGDs after being in private practice for 2 or 3 years, which is awesome because it's just like a year of paid CA. So just because you don't do one the first year out of school doesn't mean you never have to do it. Don't be too regimented there. I wanted to share, Mitchell, this was a surprise for you. I want you to be part of this, of course, but we have a digital photography course with Todd coming up and Jason's coming back from the UK. So if you text Supreme, we have a CE on TV study club. It's at an incredible, amazing price for only $79 for the whole year. And you get to see these courses for free, plus Nacho Flicks. But I know Todd and Jason are two of your favorites.
They are. And photography is another form of communication. That's what it is. Whether you're communicating with your lab or your patients or your colleagues, that's just another language for communicating. It's critically important. And, and you do learn it in school to some extent, but not in the way these guys can teach it. So that's good.
Jason's veneer thing's which is gonna be 2 full hours. And I think it'll be really cool to see him. He's really is like a top chef from England. Awesome, guys. Is there any other questions you guys wanted me to answer? I think we got.
Well, Natalie was good enough to put the info in the chat, and anybody can. I would encourage anybody to reach out to you guys directly with any other questions because you're super accessible, which is great. I can end it, but I want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for coming, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Mitchell. You're awesome. I appreciate it.